Pope Francis says unity and putting others first will help heal a world full of divisions and still fighting the coronavirus pandemic. The Holy Father says the encyclical in Assisi, while there he celebrated Mass and visited the tomb of St. Francis of Assisi. The letter is called Fratelli, tutti. Translated, it means all brothers. EWTN News Rome correspondent Colm Flynn joins us now with more. Colm, so good to see you. So this is the Pope's third encyclical. What can you tell us about Fratelli Tutti?
Good evening, Tracy. Well, there's a lot in this 200-page document, but here's some of the key takeaways. At the very start of the document, Pope Francis talks about a wounded world. He cites poverty, war, persecution, and the plight of migrants. This encyclical is him laying out the way he thinks, working together, the world can try and heal. And this is where he calls for fraternity and social friendship, that shared responsibility we have for one another, to be brothers and sisters, and not just Catholics, but this is to people of all faiths and to people who have no faith at all. Now, core to the document, he dedicates an entire chapter to this, is the parable of the Good Samaritan, who stops and gives of his time to a beggar. Pope Francis reminds us of this story, asking us to remember the dignity of every human and that the most valuable thing we can give to another is our time.
I know the Pope also spoke about global politics and capitalism. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, as a social encyclical, this document touches on all aspects of political, social and economic life. He gives the coronavirus pandemic as an example of how he feels the political system and societal structure in many parts of the world has failed those who need it the most. And he warns that, as a people, we can come out of this pandemic worse off or better off than we went into it. He calls into question, as he puts it, the magic theories of capitalism, which he claims have been seen to fail, and that the world needs politics of love. In Chapter 7, he discusses the conditions for peace and reconciliation, deploring the injustices of war, saying that there should never, ever be a reason for a just war, and calling for an end to the use of the death penalty worldwide. He also emphasized again that the death penalty is inadmissible, recalling the 2018 update to the Catechism's teaching on that very topic. And yesterday, at the press conference for Fratelli Tutti at the Vatican, I spoke to Cardinal Michael Czerny and asked him if he thought this document in parts painted a bleak picture of the Western world today.
Can you find me somebody who says that the world is better than it's painted in the encyclical? Can you find somebody who will say, honestly, it's not like this. People really are much better off and much happier and much more secure, and their dignity is much more, no. Unfortunately, it's a realistic picture.
Oh, Colm, one of the other strong points of the encyclical is the Pope's teachings on borders. What exactly did he have to say about that?
Well, Tracy, the Pope speaks very clearly about the rights that everyone in the world has to, as he puts it, the goods of the planet, and that no one should be denied these goods if they need them for their survival, and even if that means having to access or travel to another territory, meaning another country. So to get some insight on this after the conference, I spoke with a political theologian from the UK who was one of the speakers at the Vatican press conference, Professor Anna Rowlands.
He's very clear that the Church is an open borders community. He's also very clear that borders of a nation state may exist for a reason of preserving the common good. However, they are never, ever primary. They always have to admit of a duty to provide hospitality, gift exchange and cultural exchange.
And Tracy, in the encyclical's conclusion, Pope Francis said that the text was inspired not only by St. Francis, but also by non-Catholics such as Martin Luther King Jr., Desmond Tutu and Mahatma Gandhi, as well as the French Catholic missionary Blessed Charles de Foucauld, who the Pope is expected to canonize.
All right. Well, Colm, thank you so much for that report. We appreciate it. Colm Flynn, EWTN News Rome correspondent. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Tracy.